Like, who in their right mind would ever piss that guy off?
I guess just Conor because he's insane.
Conor is insane, man. What do you make of the UFC 303 fight getting canceled?
I think it's a very, very calculated and smart idea for Conor to have pushed the fight back. And it sucks for all of us. I'm a huge Conor fan. You want to see him fight as soon as possible and as many fights as we can while he's still close to his prime. But
I mean, it's been 3 years.
it's such a huge injury, though. You know what I mean? Especially for a guy like him where his movement's already been compromised. He already doesn't move anything like he used to in his prime. Doesn't kick nearly as much as he used to. So I think he needs to be peak 100% to have a chance at these top guys like he used to.
Did you hear Chael Sonnen's take on the whole thing?
Now, what did Chael say?
Chael says that he's going to rehab, and that's why they had to cancel the fight.
Oh, come
And I think
on.
that's just his thought. I don't think there's any speculation or fact into that. But he was saying that Conor McGregor is like off his rocker, and he needed to go to rehab and get some shit sorted
I mean, he
out.
definitely is, but we've seen the X-ray, we've seen the pictures and the swelling of it. Unless they're photoshopping all of that, I don't think they're going to that length.
Do you think Conor McGregor, because like as a UFC, because I'm a UFC fan, but like, and I told you, me and Ben Bane Davis called an MMA fight before. I'm not great with like the technicality and terminology. I've also been told by like a dozen people in the last year that I sound just like John Anik, and I don't know if that's a compliment or I'll take it as a compliment.
There is a little bit of Anik there. It's a huge compliment. He's one of the best
I'll take it
commentators
because if
of all time.
anybody needs me, I'm there. I got to start making content where it's like I take UFC fight clips and just take out his voice, and then I just verbatim say what he says and see if people can tell the difference. Do you think that? Because as a fight fan, I'm watching the press conferences. I'm watching because a lot of these guys who make the big money are the guys that can market themselves, which makes UFC so interesting in comparison to other sports. Like, you can't compare UFC and WWE. They're completely different entities, and I feel like people compare them for some reason because like one's fake fighting, one's real fighting. I don't know.
I think it's when they're so far from real fighting and from, I guess, even wrestling, they have no idea what they're looking at.
Exactly, right? I think the UFC, despite how good of a fighter you can be in that cage, and I've interviewed a lot of UFC fighters that are awesome in the cage. Justin Gaethje, Tracy Cortez, who's out in Phoenix, great fighter.
Yes, amazing fighter. Hottest fighter on the roster, possibly.
Yeah, she's pretty cute. Very sweet, too. One of the sweetest women ever.
I bet it's sweet.
Conor McGregor, I can think of off the top of my head. Chael Sonnen is another one. Those are the top two guys I think on the mic are the best trash talkers in the game.
The best of all time.
Who else do you think would be in that category? Because I don't think anybody else can carry a fight headline-wise like Conor McGregor could. Even though, as a WWE enthusiast, you look at the well-scripted promos that The Rock can do, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, unbelievable on the microphone. Conor McGregor says things that are off color that get people to pop, but like he's not very articulate. You know,
He
like,
might not be. I don't know, man. The early days of Conor McGregor, like 2013, 2014, 2015, those days were insane.
yeah, well, because he was fired up. He was on his way up, and people were like, "Who is this guy?"
Firing off.
I remember 2016 UFC 205 Alvarez versus McGregor. We went to the press conference, and Conor showed up late on purpose, and we were just waiting for him. Like they had started the press conference already, and all of a sudden you just see him like coming with his giant fur coat. And he's just like, "Sorry, I'm late. I just don't give a fuck." And everybody's just like, "Yeah." Like we were all in high school, just like losing our minds. It was a free press conference at Madison Square Garden. And you're just like, this guy's on another level. And then he beat Eddie Alvarez to become the first simultaneous double champ, right? He was
first champ.
He was the middleweight champion and featherweight.
Featherweight and lightweight.
Featherweight. Is there a middleweight champion? Is that a
There is. It's just a heavier weight. 50.
Okay,
he was that
yeah.
champ at 45 and 55.
55, okay. And it was the 55 matchup with Eddie Alvarez, right? And I remember that was the infamous, just like, "I would like to take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does whatever the fuck he wants." And the entire crowd goes nuts again. Funny story about UFC 205. It was November 5th, 2016. We had gone to the press conference 2 days before. Me and my buddy took the train in from New Jersey into Manhattan, into Madison Square Garden just to be there for the fight. We didn't have tickets. It was the first ever UFC event in New York City. That was when they first got like licensed to like have a fight in New York, because they did basically everything out of Vegas at that point. This was like 8 years ago. And it's freezing outside. And we're just like, man, we got to get into this fight. We got to get into this fight. And there's just like a bunch of like, what do you call them? Scalpers outside. And like the ticket stubs that they had for these had like holograms of like McGregor and Alvarez on it. Like they were just so cool. And there was this guy who, I kid you not, looked exactly like Michael Jackson in the Thriller video. Just like slick back black hair, bright red leather jacket. Is just like in the corner, like on the corner of Madison Square Garden, being like, psst, come over here. And we're like, all right, we'll come over here. He's like, I got tickets for you guys if you want, like the hologram tickets. Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez. I'm like, dude, he's got the real stubs. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna talk to my friend for a quick second. I'm like, dude, he's got the stubs. This is a real deal. We got to get it. And it was like all the money we had on us, which was like $200 each, right? So we gave him $400 in cash for these tickets. Waiting in line, hour to get in. As we're like getting closer to the front, we're like looking at the tickets, and the barcode, usually like the barcode should be in like the middle of the ticket, like on the bottom. It was like cut off to the side a little bit. Like there was just like something off with the ticket. And we got up there and they're like scanning it. They're like, these aren't real tickets, guys. Oh. And then we were like, fuck. And then I convinced my buddy I'm like, dude, these are stubs. And I still have the ticket today. The ticket is awesome.
Dude, it looks great.
The ticket is incredible, but like you'll see like the side of the code, it's like it's not a real ticket. And we had to freeze our asses off with no money. Our phones died. We didn't have chargers in the middle of New York City in November. And eventually his mom came to pick us up at like 2 a.m. because we were able to find someone who had a phone charger and charged one of our phones.
Wow.
But then we got back to our buddy's place just in time to see the main event.
I was about to say, how did you guys actually watch the fight?
Yep.
Wow.
We ended up getting back to Jersey just in time. Just in time for, it was Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Thompson.
Wow.
And that was the Wonder Boy fight where it looked like Woodley was just like kicking his shit in. And Stephen Thompson, I thought he was going to snap his neck. And it was a split. What was it? It was
I believe it was a split decision, if I'm not mistaken.
Split decision. Like nobody, it was like a tie pretty much, which was insane. What an insane like cliffhanger for such an insane fight leading up to the actual main event. Like that card was pretty legit.
Dude,
and then I
think
before that, who's Yoel Romero?
Yep. He fought
Chris, what's his name? Weidman?
Was that fight?
Yeah.
Wow.
Weidman got his just his head completely chopped off his body.
I forgot that was
Yoel
on that
Romero
card.
is a badass motherfucker, dude.
Dude, and he's still doing it. It's incredible.
Like his neck muscles are like, you can't teach that.
Nothing like that, bro.
No.
He's got to have been made in like a Cuban lab or something.
Yeah, dude. He's built, like you talk about Brock being built differently. Like Yoel Romero, you see him running, it's like that dude.
You know, when you bring up Conor McGregor's promos and how he talks in the press conference, is there more from someone that respects and is so well versed in the rest of the pro wrestling side of it? Is there more of like an authentic feeling that you can feel from Conor, knowing that it's like not scripted, none of this is written?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like his word, like the way he articulates things are not always great, but it's like he's saying what's on his mind.
And are you saying articulate because of the accent? Because of
not necessarily. It's like sometimes he's just like "fuck you," just saying that, and like people will go crazy. Versus in WWE, like The Rock can say something very charismatic, but he's like saying like he's rhyming, he's saying sentences, like he's using catchphrases. Where like Conor sometimes it's just like every time he says stuff, it's not very like well thought out. I would say. It's kind of off the cuff.
It's a little quick and witty.
Yeah,
would you say that?
Exactly.
But it's almost like it almost always worked. It was like almost the exact
like your
right
wife
thing
sent
to
me
say.
DMs.
I loved it.
As his like ankle is snapped in half on the ground, Joe Rogan's like trying to get the interview.
Legendary.
Like Dustin Poirier is like celebrating, like holding his wife's hands, leaving the cage after a win, and Conor's just like desperately like, "Fuck you, your wife sent me DMs."
And you know what? I think we all love it so much is because it's so authentic. Like you've seen it not work.
Yep.
And like every time that he's saying it, like it's like what the fuck? Because like why would you risk looking this stupid if it doesn't work out?
Yep.
It's not scripted. It's possibly not going to work out. And Man, I think this would just made that Conor era so great, and like, I don't know if we'll ever experience anything like that again.
No, I mean, every time you say that, something big happens. I remember growing up a Yankee fan when Jeter retired. I'm like, there's going to be no one like Derek Jeter. There's never going to be a captain in New York Yankee history. And here we are, Aaron Judge, the captain of the New York Yankees in 2024. So, like, things happen, and there's going to be someone else that completely revolutionizes the sport. It'll just probably take a long time.
Hey, what do you think about Logan Paul and his entrance into the WWE and
Love
pro
it.
wrestling universe?
At first, I was skeptical because I'm like, oh, great, a YouTuber who thinks he's the shit is going to come into this and get humbled. But I think Triple H would say this. I think John Cena has said this. I think anybody that's worked with Logan Paul thus far has said this. I don't think anybody has learned the game quicker in pro wrestling than Logan Paul has. With the lack of experience that he had going into it, for what he's been able to do, he's an unbelievable pro wrestler. I mean, from a charismatic promo mic skill side, you knew he was going to be great because you know he can talk and you know he's going to be a hateable character just because he's a douchebag YouTube type dude. Like, that's kind of his vibe, right? But like the actual in-ring wrestling, Pat McAfee said it on his show earlier today, actually, because Pat McAfee got into the ring and has wrestled matches for WWE. When your body hits that canvas, it's wood. Like, there's no padding. There's nothing. When your body hits those ropes, it's like barbed wire. Like, it hurts. Like, you can't just get into this without, blood leaving your body and you being all bruised up the next day. Like, it takes a long time to get your body used to that, like get the ring rust off and have that muscle memory to know it's like, this is what we're going to be putting our bodies through. It's not easy. For Logan Paul to come in this, he had a WWE championship match like within the first year of him, like a main event spot in front of like 50,000 people in his first year as a pro wrestler and put on a spectacle. Like, it is insanely impressive what he's been able to do. And he seems, out of the two Paul brothers, seems like the one that's learned from some mistakes that he's made and seems like a really good dude. Though I've heard mixed things about Prime and what they're going through and everything else. But like, Logan Paul seems like a great dude, where I'm still on the fence about Jake Paul, He's the younger one and he's still a kid. He's like 25, 26, right? So I don't know. I mean, Logan Paul's an insane athlete.
And he's actually a good pro wrestler, because I wouldn't know how to look at it from that.
Yeah, he's a high flyer off the top rope, can do backflips. His WrestleMania 39 entrance at SoFi Stadium in Hollywood, he zip-lined from the top of the stadium into the ring.
Jesus.
Which was an insane entrance.
From the top of the stadium?
Yeah.